what's up, everybody? Tim Lewis. I don't usually make a lot of videos like this, but there's just been something that, I wanted to kind of find a way to say in a way, and I didn't really want to post it, as a message, because, a lot of times when you post stuff, in text, sometimes the message can be misconstrued or taken the wrong way. So, I want to talk about what I think is kind of the biggest problem in arm wrestling right now, at least in the United States. And again, this is not directed really towards any one particular tournament director or any one particular state. I've been arm wrestling for 17 years. It's 2004. I've been to probably 300 tournaments at least since then in 17 years. Arm wrestled in 41 different states. I've been around. I've seen good tournaments. I've seen mediocre tournaments, small ones, big ones, bad ones, the whole 9 yards. And people complain about things like, oh, the weight classes aren't consistent, and the rules aren't consistent. Some, places have staggered pads, and some places, run the open class first, and others do the novice first. And all those might be small concerns or things that, might be up to individual promoters, and, uniformity might be great. But the biggest problem that I really see is lack of competent referees when you go to most events. Now, again, I'm not trying to point out any one particular referee. I'm not trying to say that this is happening only in certain places and not others, okay? I'm saying that most tournaments need work in this. And what that means is that we need to invest more time and effort in the arm wrestling community as a whole in developing higher level professional referees. Because let's face it, why does the problem exist? Well, what's the incentive to be a referee? You get a couple entry fees for free, and maybe they'll give you $50, $100. Most referees are poolers themselves. They're pooling a tournament and refereeing at the same time. Now, when you go to a larger event with maybe 3 tables running, the big regional ones, a couple hundred entries, now you have the referees that are kind of doing it full time, and maybe they've been flown in, they've been hired, whatever, that's different. And, usually you're going to see a little bit higher quality in those cases. But here's the thing, okay? We all miss a call here and there. No one's perfect. I'm not talking about a missed elbow foul or, maybe, they missed a call, that the hand came off the peg, or, was that a flash pin, or, did the guy stop the match? You're going to have stuff like that no matter what. That's inevitable. We don't have the advantage of instant replay when we're standing there refereeing matches. What I'm talking about is more kind of what I would describe as this very lackadaisical, or, for lack of a better word, passive or lazy approach to refereeing, where, they really aren't looking hard enough at all the little things that are happening primarily in the strap setup or before the match even starts. I've seen people, not start with their shoulders square, you know, have a little kink in their wrist or be pronated over or like in what I would call a wind-up position before a match starts, where, you know, they're kind of already in a pulling position slightly before the other guy says ready, go, you know, before they say ready, go. Okay? And, you know, you can't really blame the arm wrestlers for this, okay? You know, the arm wrestlers they should be doing whatever it takes to win a match. And, you know, say what you call it, you know, whether it's cheating or whatever. I mean, if you can get away with doing something and it's going to be in your advantage to do that, you know, whether it's, you know, maybe you pop a little elbow foul, go a little early, climb a little bit higher, like, so be it. Like, it is the referee's job to shut that down, take it away, call the warning, call the foul, etc., you know, and go from there. And, you know, the referee has a job to establish control of the table right away. Okay? If they're not calling those warnings and fouls, I mean, it's that once you lose control of the table, it's going to be, you know, game over from there. But my point is this: there is nothing worse than, you know, training for a tournament or, you know, whatever, a super match or, you know, whatever, you know, and traveling, you know, whether it's a couple hours or whether you're, you know, getting on a flight, hotel, whatever, you know, giving up your weekend, you know, to try to test yourself in a competition only to feel like, you know, you or maybe your opponent was cheated out of a match. Now, I know what people are going to say, like, oh, that's ridiculous, like, everybody complains about cheating. Come on, guys. I'm going to tell you guys right now, okay, I had personally, you know, at least 6 or 7 super matches in the past 4 months, okay, in different parts of the country. I'm not going to mention names and I'm not going to mention states, but if the people that have been really paying attention to all my matches can figure it out. It's not rocket science. So there is a match in particular that I am thinking of right now, okay, that I won 3-0, okay, and I'm just going to say this much. The refereeing at that event was extremely fair. It was the best refereed event that I've been to this year. And I will also say that if that match were to take place at a couple of the other places that I pulled at this year, the same exact match would have been called differently. And I most probably would have lost that match. Now, you know what people are going to say that, oh, well, you know, you're just saying that the refereeing was good because you won. No. Because I know the rules. A lot of referees don't even know the rules. You would be surprised. A lot of poolers don't even know the rules, like what it actually says in, you know, the WAF or, you know, the USAA handbook. A lot of people don't even really know what those rules are. Like, there is no such thing as a loss in a losing position for a slip. And if you know, slip out 2/3 of the way down, okay, that is not a loss unless it's based on criteria and it's an intentional slip based on either making a fist, opening your fingers prior to slippage, or else creating this downward motion. Okay, if I just pull straight back and I let go, it doesn't matter if I'm 90% of the way down to the pad. That's an old AAA rule. Okay, it doesn't exist in the USAA. And in WAL, it doesn't even matter whether it's an intentional slip or not. You can bail out anywhere, 1 millimeter from the pad, and it's not a loss. Now, you might not agree with those rules, but those are the rules. Okay? Just like, a lot of people might not like rules in other sports, but they're in there, and that's the deal. So, here's my point. These little things affect matches. Okay? We need consistency in the sport. We need more education, more training, more time, more financial incentive. Yes, even if that means higher entry fees at tournaments. Okay, to have higher quality referees, because there's nothing worse than giving up a weekend, spending $400 or $500 on a trip, and feeling like the outcome was altered by, some little intricacy that wasn't called, or a call was made that was controversial. Okay. Or, the referees are allowing things in the setup, or they're not putting the straps on correctly, or whatever. And, the poolers that have been around the block know exactly what I am talking about. Okay? In my opinion, there are only about 9 or 10 really, really, really good referees right now in the United States. Very high-level referees capable of, doing, the kind of super match, for example, like we saw with Chance Shaw and John Brezink. We should only be having, those 9, 10 individuals doing matches like that, in my opinion. Even downside, the matches are too important. And now, we have arm bet. People are going to be wagering, hundreds of dollars on these matches. We need to assure these people that, the refereeing is going to be, very legitimate. I mean, just like in the UFC, you see, the same referees on there all the time. Like, okay, we have Bart Wood. He's highly respected. I agree. But, we need that at all these other tournaments as well, especially where high-level matches are going on. Okay? So, that's my little rant. I know, some of you guys might disagree. They're like, blah, 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 just arm wrestle. But a lot of the guys that are going to say that are either the guys that are only primarily doing local tournaments and don't know any better because they only know what they've seen in their own region, or, they're the guys that are, getting away with the manipulations and the advantages, and they don't want the referees to start calling that stuff because it's going to potentially change the outcome of future matches that they might have, and then vice versa. You look at international arm wrestling, this stuff doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. Okay? Foul, sit down, goodbye. But here, we don't want to do that because, foul outs don't look cool. Well, I don't want to win on fouls either. But if I have a super match for, $250, $300, $500, and, somebody's going to do all that stuff and they're going to keep fouling, well, yeah, I mean, I guess I'd rather win on fouls rather than lose a match because somebody's, trying to create more space on the pad or, go early. So it's not my fault they don't want to arm wrestle. All right, guys, so that's all I really got. But yes, better referees, more education. Don't let anybody and their mother ref high-level super matches with, top 10 ranked people.